Hi everyone, this is Lindsay from Imaginary Rebel Art Studio. Today we're doing a Facebook Live and I'm really excited because I'm going to start doing these more, probably on Sundays. That seems to be a good day. And so I'm just really excited to kind of get back into the weekly Facebook Live paintings that we do, or that I do. And so there's more to come on that, but I wanted to do a quick demo today. We're going to do a mountain scene. So I did this one earlier. This one was like a sunrise, I believe. And so I did this one earlier, but today we're going to do a sunset with pinks and purples, which are my favorite colors, some of my favorite colors. And so we're going to do that today. I'm using a 12 by 16 canvas. I kind of doodled some mountains on there. There was also a little accident. I dropped my phone on my canvas and it kind of made a hole, but that's okay because I'm just going to paint right over it and you're not even going to be able to see it later. But anyway, this is kind of what it's going to look like. So basically just really pretty sky and some flowers. So kind of springy, but a sunset. But as usual, you need to have some water, clean water. I have paper plate to put my paints on. I have a paper towel, or you can use like a actual towel, whatever you want to use to kind of wipe off your paint. And then today we're going to be using kind of two brushes. I don't know if we'll really use this middle one. I'm not sure. But basically this is a 1-inch flat brush. And then this is like a medium round brush and then a liner brush. So those are kind of the main ones that you typically use for these kind of paintings. And then I have an apron on because I get paint everywhere. And then let's see. I think that's it. So we're gonna get started, and I just want to make sure that I can see people's comments when they come on. So let me just make sure I can get into this. I'm still trying to figure out how Facebook works and how to share these videos. I don't know the ins and outs yet, so kind of bear with me here. Let's see. I thought I shared it to the group, but it's not coming up. So I'm not really sure where this is filming to. Let's see. I'm not good at this. Let me see if I could do I don't know. If anyone is really good at Facebook and figuring out how to share these lives, let me know, because I'm still trying to figure it out. So let me go to, I'm gonna look at my iPad real quick just to see if it's on my group page. So 1 second here, but I hope everyone's having a good day. And I just want to say, you know, it's been a kind of a little while since I've done, I know I did this live a couple weeks ago, but I'm definitely going to try to do again some more lives, and I have some really fun projects that I'm working on right now. And so, you know, more fun things to come. So it does look like this video is on my actual Imaginary Rebel Art Studio page. So I'm going to try to share it again to the group. I did that earlier, but I guess it didn't work. So 1 second. Let's see. So still trying to figure this out. So just give me a second. So hopefully that worked. Hi. All right. So if it didn't work, I'm sorry guys. I'm still trying to figure out this, you know, Facebook Live thing, even after almost 2 years. So anyway, I am going to kind of get on here real quick, and then we're going to start painting. Let me turn off my iPad sound. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm going to sit down and we're going to get started. So again, we're just gonna do a quick little mountain scene today. You know, in a couple weeks, I wanna do that other, you know, the longhorn cow with the blue bonnet one, which will probably be a little bit of a longer Facebook Live, but this one will be kind of a quicker one. So again, 12 by 16 canvas. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start with this foreground right here. But first, let's get the paints, right? That's the one thing I forgot to say. So for this sun set that we're gonna do, we're gonna only use 4 colors, and they're all by DecoArt. So I have buttermilk, I have this evergreen color, which actually I should have had a different one, but anyway, we're gonna use this one. And then purple pizzazz, and then royal fuchsia. So those are the 4 colors that we're going to use for this painting. So I might use some white. In the previous painting, which was this one from earlier, I didn't use any white, and I kind of feel like it needs a little pops of white. So we're gonna maybe change that. But anyway, we're gonna get started. So this first layer right here is going to be this darkest color, which is this dark green. And if anybody has any questions, you can put it in the comments, and I will try to read the comments, but I never can seem to get them on my iPad or anywhere, so I'm still trying to, let's see, it says swipe left to reveal comments. Okay. We'll see. I swear every time it changes. So anyway, we're going to get our paintbrush wet. So we're going to start with our 1-inch flat brush. And I'm just getting it wet. I'm just kind of wiping it off on my paper towel, because you don't want it to be super wet. We don't want it like dripping, but we just want it to be wet so it's not hard. And so I have my dark green here. And really, I'm just going to put very generous layer on here. You definitely want to make sure when you are painting this section that you paint it kind of quickly, because we're going to be doing a kind of a, like these flowers down here at the bottom, and they need to be able to mix with this color. So just make sure, you know, put lots on here. So if you're in a room that is either warm or has, you know, air conditioning or something like that, usually it'll dry quicker. And in general, acrylic will dry quicker no matter what, because that's just kind of the paint that it is. And so just kind of bear that in mind. So just again, put like lots and lots of green down here. This is the bottom layer here, where we're not going to go all the way to the bottom, but we are going to go for most of this area. This is just kind of the first grassy hill area here. And then, you know, for those of you who haven't really painted with acrylic, just know that, you know, you really need to wear an apron, because if it does get on your clothes, it will be with you forever. So that's why I try to wear an apron, and I have a blanket on right now, even though I don't really need one, just because I spill paint all the time. So it's just good to have something around just in case you spill paint. Pretty much everything else it'll come out, but not your clothes. So just keep that in mind. I'm also painting the sides as well, because I'm going to hang this on the wall, and I don't want there to be any like, because sometimes when I paint projects, there'll be a big white. I don't know, I don't like it when I'm like hanging it on the wall. But anyway, so I'm just, again, putting a really generous layer on here, like this. And so that's kind of it for that section. Again, not too much, but it's still wet, thankfully. So we're gonna go to the buttermilk, which is like kind of like a cream color, and we're going to use that to make our grass. So I'm gonna still, so there you have some options. You can use your liner brush if you want to make the grass, but I'm just going to use my flat brush and I'm not gonna rinse it out. Let's see here. Can everybody still see? I feel like the, maybe the video stopped. No? Okay, I don't know. On my iPad, it looks like it stopped. So if everyone can just put in the comments if it stopped for them, I'm not sure. I'm gonna try to reload it here. Okay, good. Looks like it's working still. If you're having issues, then you might just have to reload it. But anyway, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just go like this. So when you're putting, when you kind of want a fine point on your brush, you wanna kind of go like this. So we're basically just making a really fine point on the brush there. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna pull from the bottom and push up and just gonna go in different directions. And this is how we're gonna make our grass. And again, we're gonna pretty much cover the bottom, but we want different directions. And then if you want like thicker grass, you just push harder. Or if you want that thin grass, then you just don't push as hard and you get like a finer line like right there. You know, you're just going in different directions because really we're just making grass right now. And because we already put that green down, this white is just kind of making it like a lighter grass color. But I hope everyone's having a good day, a good weekend. It's already June. It's crazy how much this year has gone by. I have now moved to Nevada and getting settled in and really enjoying it so far. So just getting my groove back with getting the Facebook Lives back. But I'll get there. But if anyone has like any requests on what you want scene paint or want to learn how to paint, you know, let me know in the comments. I can also do like a private session on the weekends, like a online virtual, like on Zoom or FaceTime or something like that. You know, if you want more like one-on-one kind of, you know, advice or just want to, you know, learn more or whatever you'd like to do really. Or I can paint it like this on Facebook Live where everyone can kind of learn how to do it at the same time. All right, I don't know why, but my iPad keeps freezing, so hopefully everyone else can see it. But I'm just gonna continue doing this grass. So again, I'm doing kind of different sizes. I'm doing like kind of a longer or fatter and smaller and different directions, because you know, in nature nothing is perfect. Well, really nothing anywhere is perfect. And so I'm making that all these things different. And so we're just making sure that, and then down here you can kind of do little tiny grasses down here to kind of fill in the background. Like that. And then that will just put like, we'll put little flowers right there, so it'll look really good. But, you know, please tell me in the comments how everyone is doing, you know, anything exciting, any plans for the 4th of July, you know, anything like that. Okay, and then also again, I'm gonna kind of paint the sides a little bit of this color, and I'm gonna paint the bottom too, because again, I don't want there to be any kind of white showing when I'm gonna hang this on the wall, or if you're gonna put it, you know, you could put it in a frame or something like that, where then it doesn't really matter, you know, if you paint the sides or the bottom, but I'm not gonna do that, so I'm just gonna paint the bottom real quick here. There we go. So yeah, for future reference, just kind of look on Sundays, or I'm gonna try to do them around 3 o'clock, these Facebook Lives. I'm gonna try to schedule them, but if I don't, I will most likely just come on randomly, but still come on and do a Facebook Live. So hopefully more and more people will come on once they see that I'm back in action. All right, so that's good for right now for the grass. And so I'm going to continue on. I'm going to rinse out my brush because now we're going to do the lighter colors, and I don't want the green to be up here. The green's down here, and we're kind of done with the green for right now. I think in general, we're pretty much done with the green. So we're gonna go now to the purple. Well, actually, no, we're still sticking with the buttermilk, but we're going to be doing the pink, which is the royal fuchsia. For those of you who are not very familiar with craft paint, there are different kinds, and this one is DecoArt, which is a thinner paint, and when you have a new one that you haven't opened yet, they sometimes are very watery, and so you really just make sure you have to shake it real well, otherwise you're just going to get a bunch of like watery, oily paint. Instead of having it like this, it's just going to be like a big mess. So just FYI, because I've had that happen where I did that and I got it everywhere. So just FYI for everyone else. So good. There we go. Okay. So yeah, like this is what it's supposed to look like. And so I'm going to be using these two, the buttermilk and this royal fuchsia together to make the sunset up here. So I'm still going to use my 1-inch flat brush, and just want to really make sure that that green paint though is out of that brush, because otherwise it will really affect your lighter colors and make them more dull. So really just make sure you're getting all of that green paint out of that brush. Okay, I don't know what's going on with the video, so hopefully people can still watch it or see it. Maybe just put a thumbs up if you're able to watch it, because mine keeps freezing. Let's see here. I don't know. Anyway, okay, so we're gonna start out with this bottom part, which is gonna be the buttermilk is gonna be down here. So the buttermilk is gonna be here, and then we're gonna put pink up here, and it's gonna blend together. It's gonna be a really pretty color. So we're gonna start again with the 1-inch flat, and I'm just going to, again, kind of put it on the bottom here area, like this. And again, you want to kind of do a generous amount because we are going to blend it with that pink. And where I am right now, my paints have been drying very quickly. And so I'm just going to put a lot on there. You could also, if you have any type of the slow drying medium, you could put that in here and it will slow down the drying process. But for those, who don't know what that is or don't have that on hand, just put a generous amount on here so that we can blend it. Okay, So now that I have that on there, I'm going to put the pink down, and I'm not going to rinse out my brush. You see how I just went right into that? I'm just going to do that, and I'm just going to go right into that top layer. And you see how it kind of mixes with that buttermilk color. We're just going to kind of make a good kind of gradation here of the sky. And that's why you really want to make sure that it's pretty wet so that you can do that. And I'm just doing long strokes. So kind of you want the darkest pink at the very top and then kind of lighter as you go down. So I'm just going to kind of run it through here like this. And it goes down, the pink kind of does go down kind of far. So we're just gonna keep kind of doing this part because it goes down. You're just gonna have a little bit of buttermilk showing kind of down here, but it's up to you on how you want that to look. If you like how, you know, this looks, I actually like how that looks, so I'm just gonna leave it like that. But again, I am going to do the top part. Because I like to do my sides. And I don't use a lot of water. I never have. For those of you who've been to paint parties with me in the past know that I don't really like to use a lot of water, and you don't really need that with this painting. It's really just to rinse out your brushes between colors. But if, you know, you feel like another thing, if your paint is just drying too quickly, you can add a little bit of water, but I would rather you just add more paint. Because if you add water, it really thins it out, and unless you're going for that look, it just doesn't look as good. And sometimes when you put water with this kind of paint, it changes the color of the paint. So just keep that in mind. Also keep in mind that this is acrylic paint and it will dry darker. So look how dark that green is. So just kind of also keep that in mind too. So if you're going for a certain kind of color that you want really light, add some white to it, or add kind of like a neutral color, like a gray, or even this like buttermilk color to kind of, kind of dull it down, but just really try to avoid like bright white, or like if you're trying to make something darker, black, because those are just really strong colors that you really like. Once you put those in colors like these, it's like you can't really go back. So just kind of keep that in mind. I would do all of your color mixing and things like that on your plate before you put it on your canvas. However, with acrylic, once it dries, if you did something wrong or you just don't like it, you can paint over it and nobody will know. So those are kind of some tips for you guys. Let's see here. Alrighty. Okay. So let me just make sure. It looks like we're still alive and it's still working, but for some reason my iPad keeps freezing, so I'm sorry if it keeps freezing for you guys, but I'm going to continue. So we're almost actually done with this painting. We're just going to finish up with the mountains and then add our flowers. And so this section needs to be mostly dry to add the flowers, which is why we're going to work on this part first. So now that I did my sunset, I'm going to work on these mountains. And so this mountain is actually the purple pizzazz, and then this mountain is the pink by itself. So the issue I have with purple pizzazz is that it is a very translucent color, which means you can see through it very easily. And so you're going to need to have several layers of purple to get it to a good purple. And so I actually might not use this, but I'll show you what I mean in a second. But I might use a different brand of purple because for time's sake, I want to make sure I can get to everything. Let's see, I have this brand new desk. It's made by Husky. It has drawers in it. I love it. It's the most amazing thing ever. Let's see here. I am going to use, we can try maybe lavender, but it's kind of a darker purple. Let's see. Well, I mean, we can try different ones, but I just know the purple pizzazz is very translucent. So let me see. Bear with me here. I just want to get this out here. I don't know, we can try different ones, but let me just show you what I mean as far as the translucent parts. But actually, we have to do the pink first. So let's do the pink first. So again, I'm still using my 1-inch flat brush. You can use your medium brush if you wish on these 2 mountains, if you're not comfortable with the 1-inch flat. But I'm just going to get my pink on here and then just paint these mountains. And hopefully your sunrise or sunset here is mostly dry. So if it blends in, it's not too bad. It's not a big deal. So I'm just gonna do like this. And again, you can always go over it again when it dries. And again, nobody will really know. So, alrighty, dighty. And really, you could do this with any colors, like the one that's kind of in front that you can see the flowers on. You know, that one I did with kind of some gray tones and orange or not orange, I actually used yellow and a coral color, and that kind of made that orange color. And so you can kind of do really any colors you want in this kind of painting, which is kind of the neat part of it. So I like purple, pink, those types of colors. So I was really excited when I saw this painting. I really wanted to create it. And I thought it would be really fun to do in my Facebook Live. So we're gonna just forget that I damaged it right there. I was trying to put my phone on my little holder because I'm also taping this like as a time lapse with a different phone, and that for some reason phone did not want to stay on the holder thing, and it just went right here. So, but that's okay. No big deal. So again, this doesn't have to be perfect. It's a mountain. Mountains are not perfect. Nature's not perfect. Just make sure, again, you get your sides here. I'm gonna get my side over here. So there's the pink mountains. Okay, now we're gonna go to the purple. So I'm gonna show you what I mean about how translucent it is. So there's 2 different kinds of paint. There's translucent and then there's opaque. So opaque means that it's very thick and you can't see through it. And then there's translucent, which is kind of like all of the neon paints are like that. And this one is like this as well. It'll just take a few tries to get it covered. Or I can try to use a different color. But this one, you can just, it's just very, you know, I mean, it's very light because you can kind of still see the background here, the canvas. So, like even on my plate, if I go like this, you can see through to my plate, or as the green, you can't see through the plate, to the plate, I mean. So I'll just maybe do a first layer of this and then we'll see how it goes. But there are just some paints, and it's not just like DecoArt, or I thought it was just like the DecoArt brand, but it's actually not. It's just there's some paints that are just made this way. A lot of yellows are translucent, where you just have to kind of put more and more layers down before you get kind of where you want the color to be. And so that's just how paints are made, I guess. And then there's more paints out there that are more opaque, which usually when they're more opaque, they're a little bit more vibrant. Not always, but in most cases they are. And so those are the ones that I'm kind of learning that I like the best. I really like the vibrant, bright, blues, purple, pink, green, all of those colors. And so these other ones are just take longer. So again, you can mix it with other colors to make the process go quicker. There's different, I typically use for craft paint, DecoArt and then Folk Art. The Folk Art brand is a lot thicker of a paint, and so it's more opaque. But it's also sometimes a little bit harder to paint with because it's thick. It just depends on what you're painting. If you need something to be like this thin, then DecoArt is definitely the better brand. And this one also dries really quickly, typically. And that's just because, again, it's translucent. So I'm just kind of trying to layer it as I go. So I think it's okay. I don't think I'll need the other colors, just for this demo anyway. If I was doing this for just not for myself, or if I was gonna give it to someone, I might do a different color, but so far it's not too bad. Just takes a couple passes through. And then I'm hoping with this purple that it will just cover that hole. Mostly. And then I can tape it also later after. I can just tape it closed a little bit, and then you probably won't be able to tell there's a hole there. So after this part, if you wanted to outline the hills with black or white, I don't know if I would do that. It kind of just depends on what you're wanting it to look like, but this painting doesn't require you to outline anything. There's like a lot of my paintings, I kind of outline it, but this one I don't. And again, that's kind of your preference. It doesn't call for that, but if you like things just to be a little bit more defined, you can outline it. I would maybe do a white, or in some of the darker areas, then do like a black maybe, or like a even darker green. You can mix this green with a tiny bit of black, and that will give you a good dark color, and it'll still not be black altogether, which is very harsh sometimes. So just kind of keep those things in mind. So there are my purple hills. So not too bad. I can still see kind of the canvas in there. I can kind of see my pencil lines in there, but it's okay. I'm gonna just kind of move on. I think for the most part down here is dry, except for a few places. So we're going to work on the flowers next, which is kind of like the last part of this. And again, I don't know what's going on with the Facebook because it keeps freezing, so I'm sorry. But hopefully on the replay, it won't do that. And I don't know if it's just like my internet or what it is, but hopefully you can still kind of see it. I can't see comments, so I'm sorry. Still haven't gotten that figured out. But okay, so that's kind of what it looks like now. So this next part is we're going to do kind of these kind of flowers, which is going to require, you could either use your medium brush or your liner brush. I used my medium brush last time for these, and I don't know, I might do a combination of both. So it's these kind of flowers right here, and then when we do the poppies, we'll do it like a different brush. And again, that's kind of your preference, and you don't have to do this many. They're kind of just supposed to be sporadic, so that's kind of the next steps here. I think I'm going to start with the medium brush just to kind of show you how to do it with that, and then I'll do the small brush too, because basically there's like tall flowers and then there's shorter flowers. So I think I'm going to start with the tall flowers with my medium round brush and then do the small ones with the small round brush. And so basically to start with this, I'm going to start with the pink, but I'm going to mix it with the buttermilk to make it lighter, like a light pink, kind of like the pink that's up here. So I'm just going to take some on my brush. I'm just going to kind of mix it together like this. I'm really just looking for a light pink right now, for kind of like this like bubblegum kind of pink to start. And so basically what you do is, I'm going to probably do a couple different sections. So let me see if I can. So for this one, you really just kind of push it down like that, and then you go, and then kind of up slightly, you go like that again. Let me see if you can see it. I don't know. I'm trying to go off of what my iPad is doing when it's not freezing. Okay, there you go. You can kind of see it that way. So they're little tiny, almost look like bunny ears to me. So you kind of just push down, like light pressure, and then as you go up higher, you kind of just do one, and then you kind of just do smaller little dots, kind of. And it's kind of random. It's not, again, not perfect. We're just kind of doing these little petals. For me, that is like too light of a pink, so I'm going to add a little bit more pink to that mixture. There we go. That's a little better. So that is one kind of flower that you can do in here on the grass part. And it just, again, kind of does that kind of thing. A little bit more on the side. So we can do that. Or you can just do dots. So I'm gonna get a little bit more of that pink, that buttermilk color. You could do like, just kind of like dots like this, kind of randomly, as like little tiny flowers that are in there, which I might do after, because I kind of like this kind of flower right here. So I'm going to get again, more mixture of my buttermilk and that purple, or I'm sorry, pink, and kind of do more like that. So again, if kind of the bottom is a little bit bigger, but they're not like super close. And then when you get kind of towards the top of the grass, it gets a little bit shorter. So that's with the medium brush. You can also do the same thing with the smaller brush. So it kind of just depends on what size you're looking to do for your flowers. And so for this one, I can just do, let's see, just little, I don't know, I guess I kind of like that better. They're just a little bit tighter, a little bit more random. Again, it's kind of just your preference. You kind of do you. But I'm just trying to show you how you can do it with different size brushes. But they're really not supposed to be kind of next to each other. It kind of needs to be in different angles, you know. The more I press down, the bigger it will be. So if you press lightly, it'll be small. So I don't know if I like that too. I think I'll just stick with my medium brush for that part and then come back with the liner brush to do the small little dots. So I'm gonna go back to my medium brush. I'm gonna get that pink and that buttermilk color and just kind of finish up these flowers. So again, kind of random. And then kind of over here, I'm gonna skip a little section and kind of do it over here. Because again, it's not supposed to be, it's not really supposed to have a pattern because there's really no patterns in nature. So if it looks like it has a pattern, then it won't look, not that this is realistic because this is more of an abstract piece, but, and then I'll probably just do a little bit off the canvas here, just so it looks like there's one kind of right there. So those are the kind of larger flowers that are like this. There are, again, little tiny little dots, and there's a couple ways you could do that. So I'm gonna do it with this brush. So it's actually going to be made with the buttermilk. So really, again, it's just kind of these like random dots, and you can do different sizes, like this, like that, or you can use the end of your brush and do the same thing. It just will take longer, but they're kind of a little bit more on the regular circular kind of like kind of look. They're a little bit more circular, but you just have to reload more often. And I kind of just do it. It's a little bit in the grass, but also around those flowers. You don't want to cover up like too many flowers because you don't want to cover up the work that you just did. But we're just kind of putting it all around, very random. You know, so there's that part of it. Then we're gonna go to the purple and kind of do the same thing. Just gonna kind of do some random little dots. You can kind of go into the air up here. We're still gonna do one more kind of flower, so there's still spaces which we're gonna kind of fill with a different kind of flower. I think it's the poppy flower. but I'm still trying to fill the background a little bit. And again, all I'm doing is using the end of my brush. If you want these little tiny circles, the smallest brush is the best. When you start to use like this size brush, obviously wouldn't work. It's more this size. So there's that. And then I'm going to add some buttermilk to that purple color, that purple pizzazz. And just kind of put some little random little flowers around before I do the poppies. But I'm just gonna lighten up that color. So I'm just gonna kind of do random little lines, a little darker. It's just supposed to, you know, kind of mimic that they're just kind of floating in the air. And then kind of this last part is making the poppies. So the poppies are that dark purple pizzazz color. So I'm not gonna add buttermilk to that. And so what I'm gonna do, so it looks like they're kind of a combination. So I'm gonna do this purple pizzazz. And so how you make these is you just do, you're gonna use your liner brush and you're just kind of randomly, but you're gonna start, I'm just gonna start right here, and you kind of just make like a parentheses and then another parentheses, and then you just kind of fill it in. And that's kind of a big one. So I'm gonna do one over here, parentheses, parentheses, and then just kind of fill it in. But you don't have to fill it in completely because you wanna still have some of it kind of like not a complete circle basically. And so here's another one. We'll just do parentheses, parentheses. Or if you want to call them like C's, like here's a C and a backward C. I think of them as parentheses, so it's up to you. But that's all, that's how you make the little poppies. And I'm just, again, kind of doing it in a random way. In the areas that I didn't really put too many of the purple or the pink flowers, I'm doing more of the poppies. Do like small ones, big ones, just again, kind of random. And then I'm also going to use that pink color, that royal fuchsia, just by itself, none of the buttermilk, to make the same kind of flower. So kind of, again, a little bit more random. I'm gonna go off the canvas right here. And again, I'm just gonna kind of do parentheses, parentheses, just very, very random. But very pretty. It's like a pink, purpley spring painting. Some up here and then maybe one down here. So hopefully you can see I've had to move it a little bit over in different areas, so I don't know, hopefully. Since my internet seems to not work, or I don't know if it's working or not, but it keeps freezing on my iPad, I can't really tell if people can see it or not, so I'm sorry about that. So that's kind of it all I'm gonna do for that. And then the last part of this section, or pretty much the last part of this painting, is just to fill the poppies in. And so that is where I will take the buttermilk by itself and I kind of will just put it in the centers of all those poppy flowers that I made. And you really just need like a little dot. You don't have to go crazy. We're just making the little dots. I know that a lot of people use black as a center for poppies, which is pretty common, but because we're not using black in this painting, I'm just gonna use this buttermilk color. And black is very overpowering, so we really don't want to take away from all the pretty colors that are in this painting. Alrighty, well, I think that's about it. So thank you for those of you who stayed on to watch my Facebook Live. Again, I'm going to try to do them every Sunday, or not, if maybe not every Sunday, but on Sundays in general around 3 o'clock. And I hope you enjoyed this one. And if you have any ideas or anything you'd like to see, put it in the comments. But otherwise, I hope everyone has a great rest of their weekend. And just see you next Sunday. Bye.